So we talked about Hillary Clinton and whether she's addressing reporters, whether she's addressing issues. What is your sense of what Iowa voters, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or unaligned, what issues do they want candidates to address this time around?
You know, I think what they want is meat on the bone. And I guess as I look at Hillary Clinton's campaign, it's skating a little bit over the surface. I think they're looking for her to give them substance. So she's talking a lot about she'll fight for them, but not really talking at the level of depth that I think Iowa voters are used to.
And what is it you think that right now in this, I mean, we are in an interesting place. The country's in recovery, but not a super robust recovery. What, beyond the perennials, we care about jobs, we care about our families, what are the things more particular this moment that Iowa voters care about?
Well, I think I just can't understate or overstate the importance of leadership, because that's the deficit that they see that they have now. So that's terribly important to them. I think the trade issue is very important to Iowans because we are a bountiful state and we have to do something with the surplus food that we produce here. I think they're very interested in that. I think really people think Iowans will have very parochial interests, and really I think they care about the same things everybody else does, in depth, but with greater depth.
So on the Republican side, one of the things you're so good at is trying to figure out the makeup of the electorate in a way that will match up what will be people who actually turn out to caucus. Nobody knows how many people are going to caucus on the Republican side. Could be 100,000. Some people think it could be 200,000 with 16 candidates in the race. Do you see inexorably, if you've got 14, 15 candidates, do you see that leads inexorably to more people turning out to caucus?
You would think. The hazard that these candidates face is coming into Iowa assuming that it's this small little group who will show up at caucus. And now they're fighting for their share of a very small pie.
About 80,000 people.
About 80,000 people. And so the smart candidates will say, I've got to go beyond that. Mike Huckabee won with the most votes a Republican ever got, which is about 40,000.
Substantially more, I think.
Well, 38 was Santorum and Romney were in that range, so not too far away. My point is that bar is not that high. If you can go out and find 40,000 new voters.
Who are the people who haven't participated in the past who somebody could get in, and how do you get them in?
Well, there's two ways you can get more people. You can get more of the same who show up, and that's going to be dominated by the Christian right. And then you can go and find the moderates who typically say, I'm not that excited about any of these candidates because they're talking to the Christian right, therefore I'll stay home. So it really is a candidate who can come in and match who they are with the Iowans who align with that. And then it is a tough job. Show up on this night at this time and support me.
Well, this is, of course, the thing that, as you know, better than anyone, what Barack Obama did in 2008.
It's exactly
not only increased the size of, but also it changed the composition of the caucus electorate on the Democratic side. As you look around, do you think there is any obvious Republican candidate or candidates who have the capacity to do that? And B, do you see any evidence of it so far? People trying to make the effort to do that here where you live?
I'll answer the last one first, which is no.
Okay.
We're in an early stage, so not much effort there.
It's not that early.
It's not that early. Obama was doing it by May of 2007.
You're right. Yeah. But I think the obvious answer of who has the potential would be Rand Paul, because he starts with a base that his father built, that he's a known quantity in the state. And there's some libertarian things that normal caucus voters aren't necessarily showing up to talk about. So he's someone who could bring in a different kind of caucus goer, and 40,000 votes for Rand Paul, that's not impossible.
Jeb Bush, we talk all the time about whether he can do well in the state. Does he have a natural constituency amongst Iowa Republicans?
Does he have I think he could build it. I don't today I don't think he has it, but I think if he comes in and Iowans begin to think that some of these other members of the field are scary, then there's the group of Iowans who want a scary president, and then they'll split that vote, and Jeb can appear potentially as someone who is tested and sort of more level. And that may appeal to enough people who haven't caucused before to say, look, enough. We need somebody who can lead.
We've seen him grappling over the course of all last week with the specifics of his brother's policy and with the nature of the dynastic presidential candidacy that he has. Which of those is a bigger problem for him? Is it the specifics of what W stood for, or is it that he looks like the past and will be just associated with yesterday rather than tomorrow?
I think he can get over the dynasty once people get to know him. But this last week was not a good platform for him in showing who he is.